Robinson testified before a special committee, said she was there to give a voice to the victims of Sandy Hook. Channel 3's Susan Raff was also in our nation's capital and has more on this emotional hearing.
Right after the president made his recommendations, pretty much spelling out what he wants to see, there was another hearing here on Capitol Hill on gun violence. And while this hearing was certainly sparked by the Newtown shooting, there have been plenty of other tragedies. 1 month ago, Newtown was devastated by one of the worst acts of violence. Today, that shock and grief was felt all over again.
20 beautiful and innocent little first graders were lost that day in a senseless act. They were no match for a troubled person with an AR-15.
Inside a packed hearing room on Capitol Hill, Newtown superintendent spoke about the horror on that day and the bravery of a school principal to stop children from being killed. There were tears. These families also lost loved ones to gun violence. In California and at Virginia Tech and Tucson, Arizona, the crowd stood to honor Gabe Zimmerman, who was killed in Tucson. He was the aide to Gabrielle Giffords. There were mayors from across the country talking about gun violence and that every day 50 children and teens are shot and that we have become paralyzed to do anything about it.
Janet was grieving. She was there with parents of children who didn't know if their children were going to come home. And as we know, 20 of them did not.
Elizabeth Esty is the newest member of Connecticut's congressional delegation. She was chosen to be on a special task force on gun violence.
I think we are going to see moms and grandmothers, sisters, standing up and saying we need to do better for our children. The president was exactly right. This is about protecting our children.
Newtown is a community that pulls together, and we are supporting one another, and that's where we're going to move forward.
The House and Senate are not in session right now. However, many House members decided to stick around, saying they want to be a part of what's happening. Any recommendations that come out of the steering committee will be made to the full House as early as next month, so it appears they are anxious to move things along. In Washington, D.C., Susan Raff.